happened to Jungkook? Why was he transferred? The shocking news shook ARMY and K-pop lovers around the world. Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS who is currently serving his military service, reportedly experienced a sudden transfer from the unit where he previously served. Not only did this transfer occur without official notification from the military, but it was also shrouded in mystery and wild speculation. Many wondered, what exactly happened to Jungkook? Why was he transferred? According to reports from several South Korean media outlets, Jungkook was removed from his military post at night in a highly secretive operation. There was neither an announcement from the military nor a statement from the agency. Some witnesses said that military vehicles came silently, carrying Jungkook, who seemed to be in a hurry and did not have time to pack his belongings completely. This certainly sparked panic and excitement among fans. The ARMY began to speculate that the transfer was not an ordinary procedure. Moreover, previously Jungkook was known as an exemplary figure during his military service. He was never involved in any violations or problems. Instead, he often received praise from his superiors and colleagues. Some speculation began to circulate widely. Some say that the move is related to security issues. Rumor has it that Jungkook had received threats from outside that jeopardized his safety at the initial military site. The threat was confirmed by an internal security team, so the local commander decided to move him to protect himself and his unit. Meanwhile, another source said that Jungkook may be transferred because he will undergo special training as part of the military honors program. This is based on his strong physical track record and impressive disciplinary abilities over the years. But there are also those who argue that this displacement harbors something more emotional. Some ARMY members linked it to a previous incident in which Jungkook was seen crying and seemed very emotional after hearing the news of Jimin's secret departure. Did his mental state influence military decisions? To date, neither HYB nor the military has issued an official statement. The silence of these two large institutions actually makes the public's curiosity even more heightened. The ARMY demands transparency, but on the other hand, they also know that some things cannot be revealed for reasons of military secrecy. One of the representatives of the fanbase wrote, "We just want to know if Jungkook is okay. We do not demand that all information be opened, but at least let him know that he is safe." Some unofficial reports say that Jungkook is now stationed in a special military unit filled only with personnel with outstanding performance. The division is known to be heavy-duty and high-risk, but it is also an honor for anyone to be admitted. If this news is true, then Jungkook's transfer is not because of problems, but because of achievements. He is trusted to carry out secret tasks or special protection missions that are only given to a handful of soldiers. However, this kind of transfer still carries an emotional burden because he has to leave his colleagues, a familiar atmosphere, maybe even easier contact with the closest people like other BTS members. A source in the military said Jungkook was physically fit and still carrying out his duties with full responsibility. However, it cannot be denied that he has experienced emotional stress in recent weeks. Some people who had seen him from afar said that his gaze looked far away, as if his thoughts were somewhere else. The ARMY must have felt sad to imagine their cheerful magne now having to bear a heavy burden in a new place unknown to many people. But they also believe that Jungkook is a strong figure who will go through this time with his head held high and his heart steadfast. Cues from the members, covert tension or tacit support. Since the news of Jungkook's transfer emerged, fans' attention has been focused not only on him, but also on the response of other BTS members. Did they know in advance about this move? Did they say goodbye? Or is it that everything happens too suddenly, even for themselves? RM had made a short upload on Instagram in the form of a photo of a dark night sky, decorated with only one bright star in the middle. The caption is simple, just one word, waiting/spirit. Although he did not give a name, the ARMY immediately linked him to Jungkook. So it was with J-Hope, who shared a struggle and fortitude-themed song on her playlist hours after news of the move spread. BTS's Taeyong AKV is also in the spotlight for his upload featuring an old photo of them when they were trainees. There is no description of anything, just a visual that reminds of the early days of their togetherness. Fans believe this is a form of solidarity and support in silence, as it is possible that the members are not allowed to comment on the situation directly. Being in a special unit can be a pride, but it is also not without consequences. If it is true that Jungkook is now in an elite military unit, it means his days will be filled with strenuous training, stricter rules, and perhaps greater mental stress. He is no longer just another conscript soldier. He is now part of a select group with a higher mission and responsibility. This gave rise to a two-sided feeling among fans: pride, as Jungkook proved to be professionally recognized, and worries, because his mental and physical condition can be depressed in the long term, especially with an emotional history that seems fragile in recent months. HYBE, as the agency that oversees BTS, has not yet released an official statement. HYBE's silence was seen by some observers as an attempt to preserve military secrets and the artist's privacy, but some fans felt this only added to the anxiety. Hashtags such as #WhereIsJungkook and #ProtectJungkook were trending on various social platforms as a form of urging HYBE and the South Korean military to provide a little certainty about the condition of their beloved idols. Some petitions have even begun to appear asking for clarification, although the military does not usually respond to public pressure regarding internal affairs. However, this kind of pressure shows how much global attention is paid to the figure of Jungkook, who is now not only seen as a K-pop artist, but also a symbol of the younger generation of Koreans who live their obligations with high integrity. Adding to the excitement, a relative of Jungkook was reportedly seen visiting the new military headquarters where the idol was relocated. While there was no official confirmation, local media captured images of a woman, allegedly Jungkook's mother, carrying a bag filled with personal items, greeted by fully clothed military officers. The presence of the family at a time like this indicates that there is an important event taking place. This could be a form of moral support for Jungkook, or rather an emotional farewell, as he will undergo a training period with very limited access to communication with the outside world. One thing that cannot be overlooked about this story is its emotional side. Jungkook, who has been known to be cheerful and hardworking, is now in a mysterious and difficult situation. He has gone through various life tests, temporary loss of contact with the members, increasing public pressure, and the burden of being a public figure during the military. Military sources said Jungkook had shown extraordinary discipline despite the sudden move. He didn't say much, but his eyes were full of meaning, said an unnamed fellow soldier. He is like a man who is carrying a big burden, but is determined not to look weak. For now, the world can only wait. Waiting for HYBE to speak. Waiting for the military to allow the public to see a shred of truth. But the most awaited is Jungkook's own voice. Short words from him. Little smile. A sign that he's okay. Because for the army, Jungkook's voice is solace. His gaze is reinforcing. And his presence, even if only briefly, is hope. Wherever he is, under whatever circumstances, the world believes that Jungkook will return. Not only as a stronger idol, but as a man who has passed the test and still keeps his heart and soul. And until that day comes, the fans can only keep saying, "We are waiting for you, Jungkook." With patience, with love, and with all the strength of our hearts. Jungkook's sudden move did invite a lot of questions. But for sure, the love and support of the fans will not diminish in the least. Whether for reasons of security, achievement, or even personal conditions, the decision taken must have gone through careful consideration. The most important thing now is to make sure that Jungkook is in good health, and to know that millions of people are out there waiting and praying for him every day. The army will continue to stand behind him in smiles and tears, because for them, Jungkook is not only an idol, but also a family. And families will always take care of each other no matter what happens.